In this video, we're going to be looking at the Cheryl Beringer return, but we're only going to be looking at the earned income credit portion of it. The rest of the return is pretty simple. You should know how to do it already. In fact, you should have the return prepared by yourself before you watch this video. So if you have not done so, please pause the video and then go back and fill out the return yourself. And after you've done that, come back to the video and we're going to work through the earned income credit worksheets to see how the earned income credit should be applied. So if you haven't done so, please pause the video, go back, fill out the return on your own, and then come back to the video. So after you've filled out the return on your own, you should have, well, let's just go to 1040. Following information, their wages should be $35,229. That's from the W-2. $2,400 worth of unemployment compensation. She has a $396 deduction for student loan interest. AGI should be $37,233. And then we have the standard deduction, which is going to apply because she has no itemized as per the problem. And then there are 4 exemptions: 1 personal exemption, and then 3 dependency exemptions, 1 for the mother and 2 for the children. And then this is what you get in the end. Now, if you were preparing this return and you had not, learned about the earned income credit, you would go ahead and submit it, and the taxpayer would miss out on the earned income credit when they actually qualify for it. So it is very important that you go back to that video again if necessary to understand the earned income credit, and then you do the readings to know who can get the earned income credit, who's eligible. By looking at this, I am pretty sure that this person is going to get, well, the problem tells me, but even if the problem didn't tell me, the income plus the 2 children kind of tells me that this person should be getting the earned income credit. At the worst case scenario, we'll fill out the worksheet, and if they don't get it, then they don't get it. So one of the first things for the earned income credit is actually go back to the main info worksheet. And if you go down to where the dependents are entered, you see there are these 2 boxes here. When I check them, let me bring attention to this right here. When I check them, you're going to see, let me uncheck them. See, these are great. Right now, these are not attached to the return. But if you forget to do this, if you overlook this, then that's it. It's not going to be attached to return. So you have to remember to click these 2, because if you don't, then it doesn't apply to the tax return. So this is the very first step: is coming to the main info worksheet, finding the dependents that would qualify the taxpayer for the earned income credit, and click on them. So after you've clicked on them and these earned income credit worksheets have shown up, you just go to the worksheets and you start filling them out. The worksheets, this is very important that this is done correctly, so you have to make sure you read it properly and you ask the taxpayer the questions that are needed to fill this out. Okay, beginning, it just gives you some information. So see the requirements and answers to the EIC worksheet. If you have for the credit and have at least 1 qualifying child, mark the EIC box on the main information sheet for each qualifying child, which is what we did. Now it says, if the taxpayer seems to qualify for EIC but does not, check here for no. Don't worry about this right now. We're going to go ahead and fill out the return. So basically what it does is it brings the children over here that we checked. So Artist Johnson and Courtney Johnson are showing up here. We don't have to fill out the rest of the information because this is all taken, the rest of the information is pulled from the main info worksheet, their date of birth, and the taxpayers claimed as dependent. So you see the sheet is already green. We didn't even have to do anything. But the second page is where we have to answer questions. Now we're going to work through each question one by one. And these are things that would have to be checked by the interviewers. Some of them you're going to ask the taxpayer yourself. So let's start with the very first one. It's automatically checked again because main info worksheet is where you pick the taxpayer's filing status. So as we've learned, someone who's filing married filing separate cannot get the earned income credit. So you don't have to worry about filling this out because it will automatically be filled out. So if the taxpayer is married filing separate, you don't have to worry about the earned income credit. Now let's go to the second one. Does the taxpayer have a social security number that allows him or her to work or is valid for EIC purposes? Now we're going to say yes for this case. If you aren't familiar with the Social Security requirements, quickly just to go over that, a taxpayer needs to have a Social Security that allows them to work in the United States of America to be able to get the earned income credit. You might see Social Security cards that say only valid with authorization from the Department of Homeland Security. Those credit cards, I'm sorry, not credit cards, Social Security cards are not eligible. In that case, you would check a no if there was something written on it, unless they also have a work permit. So for that, so if it's a Social Security card that's other than a regular Social Security card, look that information up to see if it's a yes or a no for this. All right, and then just follow the questions to the next one. The next red one is 4A. Was the taxpayer a non-resident alien for any part of the year? Okay, so if the taxpayer just became a resident alien during the year, which was part of the year, then you would check yes. But if they've been a U.S. citizen, resident, or resident alien for the whole year, then you just put no. And then we'll come down to the next question. Some of these questions, as you can see, are already filled in because the software is getting the information from other parts of the tax return that you've already filled out. So only worry about the questions that you do need to fill out. Now, number 6 says, could a taxpayer be a qualifying child of another person? Now, if they could be a qualifying child of someone else, then they can get the earned income credit. So in this case, Cheryl Beringer, if she could qualify to be the dependent of someone else, even though they aren't claiming Cheryl, and she's filing her own return, she cannot get the earned income credit if that was the case. And that's not the case in this scenario. Someone who could be claimed, it's not saying if someone is claiming, it's just saying if they could be, if there was a possibility. So if that's the case, you would answer yes, and that taxpayer would not be able to get it. But in this case, we know it's a no because her mother is not claiming her, it doesn't give us any other information. How would you find this out? You have to ask the taxpayer. Generally, the interviewer at the site should be getting this information for you. All right, and then you just go to the next few questions to answer and then work your way down. All right, qualified child. Now, these are questions related to each child. Is either of the following true? So only one of these things need to be true, not both. Either one. The child is unmarried. Yes. Artist is unmarried. Courtney is unmarried. Because if you look at the age, they're minors and it doesn't say anything about their marriage. Let's just look at the other question, just so you know. The child is married and can be claimed as a taxpayer's dependent and is not filing a 2015 joint return. This is, if you remember the dependency exemptions, one of the requirements is a taxpayer, whoever they're claiming as a dependent, do not file a joint return unless they're claiming it, specifically to get a refund, or there will be no taxes due. This is basically what this question is kind of trying to get at. So if the child is unmarried, you just check yes like we did, and then you move on to the next one, or if the other one is true. Either one needs to be true. Did the child live with the taxpayer in the United States for over half the year? Yes, they did, because it says in the problem they lived 12 months, and this is going to be the case most of the time. They need to live over 6 months with the taxpayer. Now, what happens if you check no here? If you make a mistake in any of these questions, and if you putting no here could basically make it that the taxpayer does not get the credit. So it's important to get everything right. If you look at this right here, you see it goes down when I put no because the credit is not applying. So be very careful when answering these questions. You may be going for the right one, but you might accidentally check the wrong one. So if you know they should be getting it and it doesn't seem to apply, the earning credit I'm talking about, then you probably made a mistake in answering the question somewhere. You clicked the wrong box. Check the wrong box. Do you or the taxpayer know of another person who can claim the child for earned income credit? The answer is no in this case because we know from the problem it doesn't say, and then you could ask the taxpayer. But let's say if it's yes, what would happen? Then you have more information to enter than you have these other questions that come up. It's possible that the taxpayer can still qualify to get the earned income credit even though the child could be claimed as a dependent by someone else, because remember, a dependent child could be claimed by multiple people, but usually there are those tiebreaker rules. The parent gets the first right. In this case, if the parent is divorced, who the child lives with, and all those things come into play. So you would have to look at that. But in this case, it's a no. Let me move down. Does the qualifying child have a social security number that allows him or her to work? And then that's also a yes. We just spoke about the social security cards. And this is the last question you're going to be answering. It's basically asking if the taxpayer was disallowed to take the earned income credit. If they were disallowed for anything other than the math or clerical error, you would put yes, and that would basically let's put a yes here. Alert the IRS basically, because there are a lot of earned income credit frauds. So the IRS, if it catches a taxpayer or pair doing earned income credit fraud, they basically disallow the earned income credit, and then they have to notify on the form. So in this case, it's a no though. Just make sure you put a no if the taxpayer says no, which most of them do say no. All right, and that's it for the earned income credit. And as you can see, it's attached to return. It's good. The refund status, I'm sorry, not the refund. The refund is higher now because of the earned income credit. If you want to check if it's applying, you go down to 1040 page 2 where the credit sections is. Okay. And there you can see the earning line 66A, earned income credit is applying. And that means it's correct. Now it's possible that the taxpayer gets the earned income credit, but it's not a lot. It's a very small amount. Because taxpayers sometimes do get earned income credit in 1 year. Next year they come and the amount is smaller, and they want to know why. You have to look at the circumstances. Maybe their income is higher this year. Maybe there are less children, dependents. It could be one of the many reasons. So this is how you basically fill out the earned income credit worksheet. But remember, it all starts with going to the main info and checking these boxes. Make sure you always do that whenever there is an earned income credit that should be applied. You see, if I take that off, the whole thing is gone. All right.